Hello guys, you're welcome once again to another lesson. And this lesson is a very important aspect of the module of very important to anyone who's using any kind of technology. It's very important in a sense that the exposure technology brings to the users also have some implication and some caution. Anyone that uses technological device must put in place for effective usage. Okay, so that is what this lesson is all about, which focus on privacy, security, and ethics of information system, computer, and so on and so forth. Okay, so by the time you are done with this lesson, you should be able to master all these learning objectives. Like I keep on saying, which I've said in other previous lessons, chapters, that you should be able to evaluate yourself using these objectives. At the end of your you're studying this lesson, you should be able to evaluate yourself, and then through these objectives. And here are they. Each of them, they are 7 in number, and aim to evaluate you. Okay. Now, when we look at information system, as computer we use today is becoming a very common thing to everyone, whether young or old. There are some critical questions that we need to answer. We need to ask and answer those questions. And those questions is on the use of personal data. How is your data? How is those information that you put over the internet? And remember, there's what is called a digital footprint. That anyone that uses the internet, the technology connected to the internet, have deposit his or her footprint. And those footprint can be used to identify who is who is the actual person. So those personal information, data, and everything is a call for concern and equation. So this chapter covers those issues relating to the impact of technology on you as an end user, on organization, and so on and so forth, on how they can protect themselves, their data. Remember, it's not just you being an end user using the computer. Even the company, even organizations uses computer as well. This also applies to them. But let's take it from this angle. You being an end user of computer, remember, which is part of you form the basic part of information system as a person, people, right? Technology have had a very positive impact on people. We cannot debate that. We cannot question the good impact of technology on users, and also there are elements of negative impact. So most significant concern comes to that part of privacy and what is privacy. What are the threats to personal privacy and how they can be protected? The the threat that you as an end user of computer faces. How you being protected? How is your data being protected? So how can the security aspect this with how can access to sensitive information be controlled, like your medical history, your ID, your phone numbers, and all those kind of things. Those kind of sensitive information, how can it be protected? That's element of security. And how can we secure the hardwares that we use and the softwares? The ethical part deals on the part of how does the action of individual persons, people, who uses this computer, and the company that uses this computer affect our general society, and that is it. So the privacy aspect, let's go into details in it. It says here concern the collection and the usage of data about people. So privacy deals on the part of the information being the data being collected from you. Like whenever you complete a form online, you put your personal details. Whenever you go to even a physical office today, sometimes you use your biometric information to get access. Sometimes you fill a form. All those things are your personal data. How those data are being collected and how are they being used? That is very important. Now, there are three primary privacy issues that should concern me and you, that concern me and you. One of them is accuracy. And this with the responsibility of those who collect the data. They should ensure that those information they collected is very accurate. In terms of, let's say right now you go to the hospital, the clinic, they collect your information, your medical history, right? The privacy aspect is those information they are collected about this individual. How accurate are those information, which must be secured, and when it's being collected, it should be secured so that what there is no any threat to it or being exposed to the third party or who owns the data and who has the right to the software. Another primary issue should be the property. Who owns it? Is it you that gave out the information that those data owns it, or the people that collected it owns it? The access, responsibility of those who control the data and the use of the data. So it should be accurate, the property part of it, and the access. So these are the issue that deals with what the privacy of we being the end users when we use this when we're online, when we use technology. Those forms we fill, those the cookies, the footprint that we drop online, are they accurate, who owns it, and then who controls it and who uses those footprints that we deposit online. Now there are large today, being that information, data is power, data is crude. Now, a large organization compile information about you on a daily basis. As you go through these social media platforms, everything that you do, they collect those information, those data that you deposit there. They know everything that you do online is being monitored indirectly. They have access to that. And these are big companies. And big data is being explored and is growing ever than before. The 90% of the data collected has been collected in the last 2 years, right? So in the last 2 years, the amount of data that has been collected, even compared to today, is up to 90% of what they need, what the big firms do. So now, this data can be collected by different organizations. Let's look at them. Government agencies, telephone companies, credit card companies, supermarkets, through the scanner, financial institutions, search engines, social media site. They are these big firms, big data bases that collect your information. But remember those three primary aspects: the accuracy, property, and the access. So how accurate are those information they collect about you? Who controls it? Who have access to it? Who owns it? Now, and there are other people that also have a very big data of people. And this and also about what? Information resellers and brokers. They collect and sell personal data and create electronic profile. And that is where the privacy comes in. When you fill these forms, when they collect this data, what do they use this for? So now there are people that also sell those those data. Now, suddenly you're going to receive a phone call from a company selling a product to you. How do they get your phone number? You get an email. How do they get your email? And that is a part of what? The information that has been collected, your private has been sold out. Your phone number is your private number that's been sold out to a third party that makes money out of out of it. So personal information is a marketable commodity which raises many issues. Because of what? Someone have collected your number and then begin to call you, begin to send SMS to you, begin to WhatsApp you, and begin to engage with you on these social media platforms. That is a concern because you didn't authorize for that to be used in that very fashion. And now collecting public but personal identifying information is being done through many ways. For example, Google Street View as that can give you accurate picture of a particular location. And then spreading information without personal consent is an issue. You collect people's collecting public but personal information of people's location, addresses, and everything. It's a concern. Who did you authorize for that to be done? Which also increases level of what? Identity theft, spreading inaccurate information, mistaken identity. And then that there comes what? Freedom of Information Act, which entails that what? Which look at your record held by the government and all the rest of it. So now, this information that is being collected, this data that has been collected by these firms, how are they being managed by these big data, big organizations, big databases, public network, and also employee monitoring software, which means that your employer in a company can be able to monitor your conversation, your phone conversation, your email conversation, can tap into your email. As this also proposes a law that could prohibit this type of what? Monitoring, or at least requires you as an end user to give authorization. Okay, so now when we look at on this privacy of a thing, there is also on the line of what? The internet and the web. When we use all this when we get ourselves on different internet activities, doing different things, surfing the internet, the web, and all the rest of them, there is a critical aspect that what people are not concerned about the privacy when surfing the internet or when sending email. Nobody cares. The pictures, the messages they send through this internet, they feel secure. However, when browsing the web, critical information is stored on the hard drive in different locations through your history file. And this history file, someone can tap into your network, into your computer, and get access to this to know all the sites you have visited, what you have been doing online, and so on and so forth. Through cookies and everything. And through spyware, which monitors your internet activities. So, meaning what? That whatever we do, you do on the internet, it's not really 100% secure. There are ways through which things can be, your privacy can be breached. Okay, so when we look at the file history and temporary internet file, which include location, can include your location, your address of the site you have visited or you have recently visited. So these things have been saved on your computer, which are quick display when you return to the site. So you have been to the site as soon as you log in. Let's say you shut down your computer, you open your site again, your web browser again, as so all the sites you have visited appears. Where? How? Because they are being stored. And someone can have access to that comes after you to know the site you have visited. Like you can see on that very on the picture on the screen through your Google Chrome, when you go to the history part, you can see all different websites that you have visited. So now that is the element of what? Privacy. You have done those things, you have visited those sites, but one can always trace all the sites you have visited through the history part of your web browser. Okay, cookies are small data file that are stored on your hard disk from the website you have visited. The first party cookies are generated when are generated only by websites you are visiting. The third one, this with what? The advertising company that affiliate with the website. Now, these days, right now, you find out that many websites, as soon as you open it, they will ask you accept or reject cookies. Now, and many of them do not even give you option of rejecting or modification. You just have to accept before you proceed. That is what is being done. Through that cookies, they'll be able to see the things you are doing on their site, what you are doing, the what, through which they can now use for marketing purposes and all the rest of them. So you're accepting what you are being forced to accept some of these cookies because you're not given an option to reject or to accept. Then collecting your visit information on their website. Also, that can also be controlled to ensure your web visit is not recorded on your hard. You can use what is called privacy mode. So you can activate that on your web browser so that whatever you do is not being monitored. And one of the ways to do that is, for example, you use your incognito mode on your Google Chrome to achieve that. When you're using your Safari browser, which automatically provides you, which also can be achieved through your private browsing on your Safari. As you can see on the picture through Google Chrome, how you can activate or deactivate your private mode. Okay, threat, privacy threat. There are a number of privacy threats. So, being that you're online, you do everything online. There are elements of what distance are threat to your private information data. But what there are there are privacy threats in general, which we're gonna look into. One of them is web bug, which invisible image, right? Or HTML code hidden within an email or web browser, which when the user opens the message, the information is sent to the source of the bug. You don't know about it. What is hidden there to collect information about yourself? As spyware, which are widely range of programs that have been designed to secretly record and report your internet activities through your internet ad cookies, computer monitoring softwares, and all the rest of them. However, the anti-spy program, which can be used to do what? To detect and remove every privacy threat on your browser. Okay, online identity. Like I said before, that every person that uses online that uses the internet technology online have a digital footprint. Now, the information that people voluntarily post about themselves. Now, you have been today on social media, wherever you post, and that is very important, is yourself that you are posting. That's why it's very important for you to mind what you do on these platforms, the kind of content you post, and that is your digital footprint identity. And today, now companies all goes as far as monitoring, evaluating your social media presence, which online presence that can determine that they use to make decision in whether to hire you or not. So that is very important for you to be mindful what you do on these platforms. So archiving and searching features of the web makes it available indefinitely. But there are major laws on this, right? However, it's very important for you to be mindful. You have to take ownership of this, to be mindful of the kind of information, data you put on online, because those things build up your personal identity, which is what's called online identity. Security part involves protecting individual and organization from any form of harm, which can come through the hackers, right? Which get unauthorized access with a malicious intent. So hackers. So security ensures that you're being protected from hackers and computer criminals, right? Through what? Which is now criminal offense that involves a computer and the network. What is a computer and a network? So forms of computer crimes, you have your malicious program, which include viruses, worms, and Trojan horse. Denial of access, DOS, cause computer system to slow down or to stop automatically. Bug Wi-Fi, which a Wi-Fi that are being used to do what? A process as a Wi-Fi to collect your personal information. Data manipulation involves changing data or leaving prank message. Identity theft, illegal assumption of a person's identity for economic what? Gain access to your identity for economic gain, like we talked about. I talked about you gain access to some calls and everything. How did they get those numbers, right? Internet scams over the internet using being usually initiated through emails or involving pushing. Cyberbullying, which use of the internet, mobile phones, smartphones, and other devices to send or post content intended to harm or embarrass another, which is called bullying, online one using calls to intimidate you, using posting this thing, some negative comment, shaming, body shaming, and all this kind of thing that can be done online. So these are different kinds of this threat, right? Forms of crimes. So your malicious programs, like your malware, which have been designed by crackers, criminals, to damage or to disrupt a computer system. So this kind of uh, um, crime can be done through a virus, which is what migrate through network and attach to a different programs to shut down, to destroy your program, your your system, your worms, files the computer uh, 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 files the computer with self-replicating information like worm, and then Trojan horse programs uh, that have been used to look like a good program, but it's a malicious program to look like something else that which can be through your zombies, your computer affected by viruses, worms, and Trojan horse. Um, Cybercrime, denial of a service, access to service, right? Attack to slow down the computer or by flooding it with requests for data and so on and so forth. So these are different kinds of um, computer crimes. Internet scam, fraudsters, which uses the computer to commit crime by individuals, provide that pushes you to do what? To give out your information, to send money. And through this day, you see people talking about it. They just send you a code, a message that if you don't do this, if you don't send us a certain amount of crypto, you're gonna do this, you're gonna expose your information. Those things, many of them are fake, but that is where people do scam people online, right? And then identity theft, illegal some of assumption of personal identity for purpose of economic gain, cyberbullying, use of internet to to harm others, and the phishing, which attempt to trick internet users into um, thinking a fake but official looking website. In this right now, you can see a website that looks like a website that you know of a company that you know, but that website is fake. They use that very website to deceive users, thinking that they are in the original website. So there are different kinds of types. There are different types of internet scam, which can be shamed later, right? And then you have your auction fraud, vacation price, and so on, and the advanced fee loan. These are all different kinds of crimes, scams that can be done on the internet. So you have to be mindful to look out. So it's all about you being proactive, watching out what you do on the internet. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Not every link you see, you click. Because, like example, a classical chain letter instructing receipt to send a normal amount of money to five people on the list for you to get so and so thing. You got this kind of email that you should send this. And today it's not just email, those kind of link, those kind of messages. Send this to five person for you to do for you to get this and so on and so forth. But as soon as you click that very button, your information is being collected. So you have your auction, merchandise is selected and payment is sent, right? And then so these are things you see every day on the on your on your phone, on your device. But be careful. If you're not expecting anything from anyone, why should you click a link? For example, they send this kind of whereby they say, okay, you have a parcel from the post office, right? You know you are not expecting any parcel from any post. Then why do you click? Then don't click that link. Then confirm from the person that that if assume you are expecting a parcel, confirm from the sender so you can be sure before. So not everything you see on your phone, not every link you see these days, you can just click. So measures to protect computer security is to be the principle to ensure that you are secured online, restricting access, and then encrypting data, anticipating disaster, physical, using your physical person access means what? Limit access to unauthorized persons using some measures like your password. So when you're able to use password, and not just using password is a issue, use password that cannot be that can easily be be known. Don't just use your phone number as your password, right? And then use encrypting data, which is what all codes, all messages sent over the internet can be that a message sent over the internet can be encrypted, whereby using some programming codes, right? And through that, even when someone has access to it, that means it does not even make sense. And especially at a disaster through prepare for disaster using physical security, data security, and disaster recovery plan, and preventing data loss. Routine copy that of your data and store it in a remote location. Don't leave all your data in one location. Let's say right now on your laptop, that's where you have everything. On your phone, that's where you have everything. No, plan for data recovery, data loss. Prevent it by what? Copying the same data in a different location, saving it in a different place, in a different device. That if this one is being tampered with, the other one you can recover it from another place. So receiving access comes in different ways, using your biometrics, your fingerprints, your eyes, your iris scan to protect you, as you can see on the screen, and using your password. And this is very important. Dictionary attack, use of what software to try thousands of common words. Right? In this case, right now, when this is being tried, they use your phone number, they use your so in other way, do not compose your password by your name, your name, your last name, first name, your mother, your friend, your sisters, your siblings, or something like that. Your ID, this and that. Those things are things that can easily be being identified to as a password against you. So when you use those things, that's what criminals can always try. They try your phone number, they try your ID number, they try your first name, your last name, your sister, your brother, and all those things. No, rather use words that are a combination of everything. That's why you see a capital letter, small letter, special keys, numbers, and all those kind of things. Those things makes it difficult for the password to be reviewed to be known. So automated security tasks today, ways to perform and automate important security tasks through what? In this case, right now, we have a security suite which provide a collection of a utility program designed to protect your privacy and security on the internet. Okay, you have a firewall, which security are both are between the corporate provider network, right, and the external device. So the firewall is like it's an intermediate between the outside world internet and the firm's um uh and data server. So it lies between what is out there, the internet, and the firm's server. That anything that is looks suspicious, the firewalls can be blocked without having access to the server, to the system of an organization. So password manager, which helps to create strong password. These are different automated security package that can be used. I talked about encryption, coding information to make it unreadable except to those who have the encryption key. So an email is being encrypted, and then as soon as you do that, there's a key being generated. You have to send to the receiver, and it's only the receiver that have that encryption code key. And then by the time the person receives that email, that very document, it uses that the encryption key to have access to it. As soon as it puts the key, the message is being displayed. Okay, so and that is it. So there are also visual um, private network which encrypt connection between the company and their remote users. Um, wireless network encryption restrict access to unauthorized. In this case, right now, Wi-Fi protect the access. That Wi-Fi are not free in terms of without any password. Okay, and these are the ways to do what to to manage to protect a network from the internet. Anticipating disaster, which I talked about using physical security. Okay, you plan ahead, you think ahead, you do your backup, you put security, you put it will happen. It's anticipation. You know it's gonna happen. You're planning about it. It might happen. What do? You back up. You store your data in different location. Use a physical security to protect, as firms can do, as you see around the campus. Security guys everywhere against what? Any form of disaster. So making IT works for you. What do you see today? We are looking at today a cloud-based storage. That everything today is moving towards the cloud, and that is where that it is. However, all the security issues can be a major concern. So the last part of our presentation is on the ethics, which is a standard of moral conduct. What is ethical? There must be a standard moral conduct. So computer ethics guideline for the moral acceptable use. What we can say is acceptable use of a computer, which in this case, rather for ethical use to be in place, there must be what? A copyright, giving content creator the right to control the use and distribution of their work in terms of painting, music, videos, books, and all the rest of them. So you give what? The right for someone. This is my content. I have a right how to be used, how it's gonna be used. Okay. And the privacy software piracy. Unauthorized copying and distribution of a software is what? A, software piracy. Plagiarism, representing some other person's work and idea as if they are your own without giving credit. So don't involve yourself in this plagiarism stuff, because And for that to be avoided, you need to acknowledge the source, the owner of that very work. Don't just use one's work without acknowledging them. Do not copy one's work without acknowledging them. So in this presentation, in this lesson, there are careers that one can build out of it, which can be as IT security analysis, which maintain the security of a company's network, system, and data. Okay, that is it. So when we look into the future, what would we see? We see that most forums, comment areas on the website allows us to post message without identifying themselves. However, some uses this for abusive and threatening comments. You see today online harassment, cyberbullying, stalking, and damaging reputation. How do you feel? How will you feel? So, in order for us to be what is called digital citizens on the internet, we need to avoid, not engage as a person. You need to remove yourself from any form of online harassment. One made a comment on a post, then you harass that person. One put up a post, you harass the person, you bully the person, you continue stalking the person. Avoid that. That is not that does not promote a digital citizenship. Okay, so by the time you are here, you have studied this lesson, you need to be able to use these open-ended questions to evaluate yourself. There are 5 in number: define privacy, discuss the impact of large database, private network, and so on and so forth. Okay, discuss and define and discuss online identity and measure privacy laws. So these are different kinds of questions that are meant for you to evaluate yourself. Okay. So here we come to the end of this lesson. If there are any questions, please drop your questions. Email me, contact me for further discussion. And then have a lovely learning. Thank you, and see you again. And remember to subscribe.